to The Monotonous Cacophony, and this is the first episode of a weekly series called Monday Motivations. Pew, 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 pew. The aim of this series is to motivate young Black women like myself. You know, the world isn't always kind to people like us, and sometimes we need to be reminded of how amazing and special we are, that we do not owe the world productivity, and that our value is innate. My hope is that we start each week putting our best foot forward and getting the encouragement we need to not be discouraged by the naysayers around us, to understand that it is not always healthy to compare ourselves to people on social media, and to be reminded that we are all running our own race, and that we will arrive when we are ready to receive the glory that comes with reaching our goals. I am the girl that is so busy showing up for everybody else that I forget to show up for myself. Sometimes I need to be reminded that I matter too, and that showing up for myself is the best way that I can show up for everybody else. Monday Motivations will be our way to make sure that we start our week on the right foot, and that hopefully we can sustain that energy throughout. So meet me here bright and early every Monday, and we will start our week with a smile. All right. So, our first episode, we will discuss a book called The Body Is Not an Apology. Now, just to start off, I want to let you know that I absolutely loved this book, and even got the subsequent workbook, which was really great because the workbook really helps you digest the topics that she discusses and the concepts that she brings forth in her book. So I will leave a link in the description, and you can either buy the book, wherever you buy books, or listen to the audio version of the book. The author does the audio, which is fantastic, and she adds like a lot of her personality to it, which is great. And that's how I got through the book. I didn't really have time to be sitting down and reading, so it was great to listen to her on my morning walks. So I love the book. I haven't completed the workbook though, but what I can say is that the parts of it that I have done, I really enjoyed and tried to apply to my day-to-day life, which is something that I found to be quite unique with this book in particular, was that the book itself does, give you practical examples and make suggestions on how you can apply some of the concepts to your day-to-day life. But the fact that the book was also paired with a workbook meant a lot to me, because oftentimes I was really reluctant to read the book, only because I'm anti-self-help books. I find that they oftentimes are just espousing some like really common sense stuff, and never really give you practical examples on how you can then maybe apply these things, right? Because it's not that nobody knows what you're saying, it's just that executing it is where we all kind of struggle. So I had avoided reading this book for a long time, but a friend of mine suggested it to me, and I am forever grateful. Now, what I appreciate most with this book was that it allowed me to see, fat phobia and the need for body positivity movement through the lens of capitalism, right? I had never really considered the capitalist lens when thinking about my experience on this planet in this body. I had kind of just accepted that, I'm not for everyone. Some people don't like tomatoes, some people are allergic to peanuts. It's life, and that whoever likes me, and whoever doesn't. But I also kind of understood that the people who genuinely had no issue with my appearance or the fact that I was fat were few and far between, and that I had no right to expect otherwise, because my body in some way was grotesque and burdensome, and that I already was taking so much space physically on this planet that I daren't ask for more love or attention, and that I should just be grateful for what is so graciously given to me, because I clearly don't deserve it, right? Anyway, that is how I just had conceptualized things in my mind. I had accepted that this is how the world works and this is how I will operate. So when I read the book and considered that, hey, this is not some, natural inclination that people have, and that finding me repulsive and, problematic and that all these experiences or all these opinions that people might have about fat people might not have anything to do with my body, and might just have to do with the capitalist mindset that as a group we decide what has value and what doesn't have value, and that if something cannot be monetized, that it is innately invaluable and, if anything, a waste, right? Because we should all be in pursuit of the self-gratifying accumulation of money, and if anything in our life is not in alignment with that goal, then why is it worth keeping? And the way that she put it together, and she put it together so beautifully, it really just snapped in my mind. I was like, yeah, yep. Because I went to school with a girl who had a really big bum. I mean, the biggest bum I have ever seen in my whole life. I've yet to see a bum bigger than hers. And when we were in high school together, she would get made fun of all the time. She had a tiny waist, tiny boobs, it was just her hips and her bum that was huge. And then everything tapered back down to a cute little size 5 foot. She wasn't too tall, just gorgeous, absolutely beautiful, but just this massive, massive bum, like she grew up near a nuclear plant or something. You know what I mean? Anyway, in high school, that body shape was not banging. What was popular was, ironing board thin girls. You shouldn't have anything sticking out of your body aside from your arms and legs. No bump for the breasts, no bumps for the bums. Everybody needed to look like a model. So she would get ridiculed, like, relentlessly. And well, I felt sorry for her, but I was also being bullied, so I couldn't really, do much. And we were in the same boat for different reasons. I obviously had too many things sticking out of me from every angle. My tummy, my boobs, my hips, my bums, my back rolls, my little cookout, granny who makes the good stew arms. But nonetheless, we were in the same boat. And now that BBLs are, all the rage, she has gotten off the boat and she's sitting pretty at the top of the totem pole. And I can see by her social media, if you go through the timeline of her social media, you can see how in her earlier posts, she tries to hide her figure, hide her shape, and there's a heavy emphasis on her face. Whereas now, almost all her pictures are side profile. She's letting everybody know that she is dragging a wagon And she she has no qualms about it. And why should she? Why should she? She was beautiful then and she is still beautiful now. But it just goes to show that, a lot of us have tied our self-esteem to the capitalist system without even knowing it. That, we call ourselves weird and strange, and that the reason why nobody likes us is because we like listening to crime shows and fall asleep to horror podcasts. When actually it is because there's certain parts of yourself that for the time being are not considered to be marketable, right? That society has not put a cash value on that thing, and therefore we are all struggling to find its value. And that is a very unhealthy way to live, to interact with yourself and with others, because we are so much more than what money can offer. And that if we limit ourselves to valuing only the things that the capitalist regime values, then there'll be large parts of ourselves that we'll never get to enjoy. That there'll be parts of ourselves that we neglect and chop off so that we can grow larger sections that do make money. And I think that is why the world is going in the way that it is, because we are all walking around as puppets, mere parodies of ourselves. We aren't given the energy, the time, the tools to dig deep within ourselves and really get in touch with who we are as people. Just get to know yourself. Just take a look at yourself in the mirror and appreciate every little thing about yourself. It doesn't have to be valuable to someone else. You don't need a second opinion on whether you are beautiful or not. You don't need your wit and your quirks and every little thing. You don't need it to be peer reviewed. It's not, something that you need to post online and get likes in order for it to be valuable. Does it bring you joy? Does it exist? If the answer is yes, then it's valuable. Just because you like baking bread, you're not going to like it any less if you don't post about it. And it's not going to be less fulfilling if when you do post about it, it gets 0 likes. Do you like your toes? Just wiggle your toes for a second. See how they dance around like little children. Doesn't that make you laugh a little? And isn't that what life is about? To just giggle randomly because your body is doing a strange thing and you don't even know how all these nerves and muscles come together to make these tiny little toes dance. But here they are, dancing. Here you are, giggling. And isn't that enough? Or is that something that we have to whip out our cameras for and record and laugh? And it's only if other people are laughing with us that it's actually really enjoyable. When will we just be in the moment and feel what we need to feel and for our feelings to be valid? You know what I mean? Is everybody hearing me? Can I get an amen? Because damn it, the moment I realized that, I felt sad for the fact that for all these years I've neglected so many parts of myself because I was only looking for the things that society deemed worthy, that Karl Marx considered to be valuable. And that's just not going to do it anymore. So, for all of us who struggle to find value in our existence, who feel that we need to exchange productivity or visual appeal, that we need to be of service to someone else in order to be valuable, that our value is only something that exists in other people's mouths, in other people's perception of us. For all of us who are stuck in this pinwheel trap, constantly chasing other people's affirmations, other people's approval of our existence, that if people no longer approved of what we were doing or how we chose to live our lives, that we would wither and die. For all of us who are afraid to take a long look at ourselves in the mirror and look at the things that we have chosen to ignore for all these years, let's put a stop to that. Let's look at ourselves and smile. It doesn't have to be this, exuberant body positivity that we see online. I strongly believe that even just being neutral with yourself is so much better than not loving yourself at all. To just accept yourself quietly. Look at yourself in the mirror with no judgment and just be like, yeah, that's my body. It's mine. It's the only one I have. And there's nothing I can do about it. And I'm not sad about it. I'm not super excited about it. It's mine. And my job is to take care of it. This body allows me to feel sensations that bring me joy, that make me giggle, that make me sweat, that get me all excited. This body is doing that for me. This body takes me from point A to point B. These lungs are drawing in breath as we speak and are managing to keep me alive long enough to at least finish this thought. These cute little tiny toes, or these long toes that, burst out of sandals, these toes are my toes. And they're the reason why I'm not toppling over right now standing in this mirror. This hair that refuses to grow, that is patchy all over, that can never seem to cooperate, especially on days when I need it to. It's mine, shielding me from the sun, or at least providing something to play with when I'm bored. It is mine. Mine to take care of, mine to love. It's all mine. So, yes, I have a very long journey ahead of me. I am not there yet. I am still judging myself by an impossible yardstick. I am still scared to look in the mirror sometimes. I sometimes don't wear the outfit that I want to wear and choose the outfit that covers the most things. As if somehow the sight of my fupa will ruin people's appetite at the restaurant. Or if the sight of the cellulite on my thighs will stop traffic if I decide to go on a walk in shorts on a hot day. I have a lot of work to do. But I'm getting better and better every day. And so are you. I see you trying every day, trying your best, becoming more and more aware of the things you need to work on. And instead of sweeping them under the rug, taking a proactive stance towards fixing those things about yourself. And yes, you're going to slip up. I mean, who doesn't? But you pick yourself up again and you keep going. You are beautiful. You are smart and you are kind and you are precious. Not because I say you are, but because you exist. And these are things that are bestowed upon you at birth, whether you like it or not. You're the cutest. You're the cutest. That there are people who are happy that you are in their life, whether you know it or not. Whether you allow yourself to receive that love or not, it is there, waiting for you. I hope that one day you are ready to embrace it. I hope that one day you are ready to embrace yourself. Have a good day. I love you. Okay, so that is the end of today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'll try not to ramble so much next time, but I do want these Monday motivations to be a little more relaxed, a little more natural, a little less formal. I want us to be able to laugh together and just, exhale before starting the week. So I will try to do better. This is something new for me, so please be patient with me. I'd appreciate your feedback, and as time grows on, I will invest in better equipment and all those wonderful things. But I really hope that this episode helped you in some way. And next week we will discuss something else or expand more on this topic. But either way, have a good week, and I love you plentiful.